It's another edition of Flower Mound Rotary Club Television, and I have the privilege of sitting today with Mary Jacoby, who is a fellow Rotarian of the Flower Mound Rotary Club that meets noon at the Marriott currently in Flower Mound on Thursdays, 3 weeks out of the month. And 1 week they have a social hour that meets Thursday nights. And we'll talk more about that later, but Mary, thanks for doing this today.
Thank you, Harold.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, family life, hobbies that you might have.
Okay, so I work for DACU Credit Union, as you might see, as I'm here in my always in my DACU shirt, it seems like when I'm out in the community. And I have lived in Flower Mound since 1994 with my husband. We've been married for just over 30 years. And live in our second home in Flower Mound and love it. It's a great place to live. It's been interesting to see Flower Mound itself evolve over all the years that we've been here. We have a daughter. Her name is Emily. She's 18. She goes to the University of Texas, Dallas over in Richardson. And she's aspiring to get her degree in psychology with hopefully getting a doctorate one day. So she's off on a new adventure. So my husband and I are temporary empty nesters, if you will, from the standpoint of
So there's a shot you'll have a doctor in the family.
I'll have a doctor in the family. I've worked for DACU for 12 years, and I've been in the financial industry for 33. I actually started when I was in college. I've been in this industry for a long time, but I do love it. Hobbies, I love to cook. I'm an avid reader.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Do you have
Actually,
anything?
Italian food. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, my mom's was 100% Italian, and that came down through me, and so that's
So
really
is there a
something
certain style of Italian food you like to cook?
more lighter Italian, not the heavier stuff, Northern Italy type things.
Okay. What made you decide to even think to get into Rotary and specifically join the club that you're in?
Yeah. So the funny thing about my job at DACU, and for those of you that know a little bit about DACU, we give back to our community a lot. There's always somebody out there that's trying to serve our community and make it a better place. And when I was hired, I was given a directive from our CEO at the time that he said, I want you to join a service group. I want it to be Rotary, and please try to find a club in Flower Mound. And there happened to be the Flower Mound Noon Rotary. And I actually had a friend of mine at the time, and actually somebody you probably know, John Kleiber. He was my sponsor. He worked for the local waste management company at the time, and he said, come on, Mary, I'll bring you in. And here I am, 12 years later. And I've served, I'm a past president, I've served as the secretary, I do a whole lot of different things for Rotary, and it's been a good group to be part of.
Well, truth be told is you volunteer for everything. I think the thing about being a servant to the community and the thing about being in service in general is there's two words in the service community. One is yes and the other one's no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, that's true.
And sometimes it's hard to say no because especially if you're passionate about seeing the community taken care of, right?
Right.
But I know you wear a lot of hats in the Rotary Club, and I can tell you the Rotary Club is glad to have you. I don't know what we would do if we didn't have Miss Mary Jacoby.
Well, thank you, Harold.
So at the end of the day, though, what would you say to somebody that was considering Rotary?
So Rotary is much more than one individual. Obviously, it's a group of impassioned people that just really want to make the world a better place. Service is where we are. Now, the thing that's interesting about it is you build lifelong friendships, which, Harold and I've known each other for longer than I've been in Rotary, but we've known each other for different reasons. And so it really does become a family, when you spend every week seeing people and you get to break bread with them, you get to share things with them, but you also learn about them. People like my attorney, people like my financial planner are in my Rotary Club because you learn about people when you're building houses with them and picking up trash on the side of the road and landscaping a park or whatever you're doing. So the service aspect of it is huge, but it really becomes a lifestyle. It becomes something that you really want to get up and do and to figure out a way to be of service to the community. Flower Mound itself, and really our whole area, we are blessed with many, many opportunities to volunteer. So Rotary affords you that easy way to say, hey, how can I help? And Rotary is so vast, you can help in many different ways.
So if you could tell the public one thing that you think our Rotary Club does best, what would that be?
Our Rotary does an amazing job with pouring into the youth of our community. We always have. I think we all see, many of us have had kids, obviously, and some of their kids have grown up like mine and have gone out. Some are still on that journey, but we always do things that we can to help kids, and especially the teenage population. That's a population that, maybe it's not always comfortable for people to work with them, but we are trying to do everything we can to pour into those kids that may not have all the opportunities that they need to be successful adults in our community. So whether that's working with Journey to Dream, whether that's working with CCA and their programs, or whatever it may possibly be, we've always been one that's been able to focus on those kids. And I love that. Speaking as a parent of a teenager, I think it's just really a cool thing that we've been able to do. The other thing that's really wonderful about it is many times I've brought my daughter to service projects and said, hey, come here, we're going to do this. And she's beginning to understand now why. When in the middle of it, when they're 10 years old and you're dragging them to a service project early in the morning on a Saturday, you're like, why am I doing this? But now she understands why.
So part of Rotary, thank you, Mary, part of Rotary is we all abide by and even recite at the end of the meeting this thing called the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. And this is kind of out of the blue, and don't ponder too long on this, but what's your favorite question?
Is it the truth?
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Mary Jacoby from DadCoo, for being part of this today. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you at the meeting.
All right. Thank you, Harold.
Very good.